In American Tang Soo Do, as I teach it, I often say the word, this is basic. And what that means is basic is just a term for how we do it in the beginning. Can it change in the future? Of course, and things need to be able to be adapted to the situation. Context is king in anything we do. But when I say four basics, what I'm saying is in the beginning, this is how we do it. Later on, we'll make variation. Advanced techniques are nothing more than a reinterpretation of those basics. So in this video, I want to just real briefly talk about some of the essential, not all, but some of the essential rules for basics. As we're looking at these are guidelines in American Tang Soo Do for performance and training and how our techniques should be coming out, because there's something about teaching to them as far as teaching strategy and tactics in addition to physical technique once you start to actually analyze the positions you're moving through, if you understand that forms are about solo training. I don't have a training partner. I don't have something I can hit. I don't have a body I can interact with. And so I need to use my mind, hopefully in a realistic fashion, not a Hollywood fashion, to see, okay, what could I be doing here? What am I learning from this? What is the stance teaching me? What is the angle of my body teaching me? And so the first rule of basic is everything means something. Don't do anything unless there's a meaning to it. Everything has reason when we do stuff. Could be life, could be martial arts. But in our basics, everything has a meaning. The trick is doing this long enough to figure out those meanings. There's that little caveat to that. So that's rule number one, everything has meaning. Second rule, when we're talking about physical performances, front hand always blocks. So what that means is if I'm doing a defense, I'm using my front hand. So knife hand defense, front hand. Outside defense, front hand. Why? Because when I use that front hand to defend, that allows me to load my body up for the next strike to put more power in it. Another little thing, it allows me to go from my defense perhaps to use both hands in one shift of my weight. So these are some things that are taught, for example, by saying front hand always blocks. Remember, that's basics, four basics. It can change, but in the beginning, there it is. Anytime we have to add verbiage, so to speak, to describe a technique, it's more advanced. So if I were to say we're stepping reverse outside defense, well, stepping outside defense, outside defense. As I add words, it becomes more advanced, and it may mean it's just in movement, which is harder sometimes, or it may mean that there's a totally different interpretation. But this brings us to one of the next rules of basics. If you add verbiage, it's more advanced. So if it's more advanced, is it teaching the same thing or not? It goes back to rule number one, everything means something. So everything means something, front hand always blocks. Adding verbiage makes it more advanced. So those are the first three rules of basics. Number four, if we're talking about kicking, fold, kick, recoil. It sounds really simple, and it's a guideline to performance. Fold, kick, recoil. All of our basic kicks in American Tang Soo Do, we only have 8, just with dozens and dozens of variations. I'm gonna fold, I'm gonna kick, I'm gonna recoil before I put down. There's a lot of reasons for that, but just understand that it's always gonna be there for basics. What I mean, could it change? Yes. Are there some kicks we could do without that? Sure. But four basics in the beginning. So fold, kick, recoil would be rule number 4. These are just 4 basic rules. There's a lot of them, and I know I keep using the word basic in this, but understand, as you're going through these, we can cover more, but the more rules we put on it, the tougher it gets to make the art your own. These are guidelines. They're not, I say rules, but they're not hard, fast lines. There's always times we're gonna deviate with different things. Even stances aren't the same from form to form all the time as we modify in movement based off our body. These are guidelines for learning in the beginning. Don't take them for more than that, and follow them, absorb them, and then see how you can adapt them for yourself. But once again, everything means something. Rule number 1, front hand always blocks. Rule number 2, rule number 3, as you add verbiage, you make something more advanced. And rule number 4, fold, kick, recoil. There's more, but that's enough to get you started.